All right. So round four might be the final round because right now it's looking like a slaughter. It's looking like Gen Z is gonna take the gold, and this category might make it no different. But we got mental health and self awareness. And that's the category, and you should know who won. No, I'm kidding. But so we got mental health and self awareness, and we're gonna look at like just the mental state of both groups. Who tends to normalize things, who's better at therapy, so to speak, who just talks about it or who actually like does it. Like we're gonna look at both of it. And once again, both sides, Gen Z and millennials, they both have their own faults. But one side, I'm gonna tell you now, I have already have my answer in this category, and I'm sure y'all have the same answers. Even the person that I choose and say is more toxic in this one, they would probably agree with this assessment. Like it's kind of insane. But we're gonna start with millennials. Now, a toxic trait in millennials is self. I hate to say it. Hate to say it, but that whole like being afraid of therapy and kind of sweeping stuff on the rug or trying to like toughen up and all that. That's kind of toxic. Like let's be honest, that's kind of toxic. I mean, it made millennials tougher. You know, I feel like the next couple generations are actually soft because they don't have this. Less. Let me let me pick myself up and let me keep going. Like that's a strong character trait in and itself, but part of it is toxic. Now, all toxic ain't bad. All toxic ain't bad, but in the sense of mental health and self-awareness, that's kind of toxic. But that trait is not bad. That you know what? I know if life can fuck me up right now for a little bit, but I'm gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna keep pushing. I'm gonna get through it. Like we good. Like that's like I said, it's kind of toxic, but it's a good toxic. Like it's millennials are gonna push through it. Um, but you know, it's kind of funny. Like millennials, they'll like y'all remember back in the day they had you they used to have the who was the group? I think it was like BuzzFeed. I think it was like BuzzFeed or whatever, and like they'll do a test, like they'll do like a personality test, they'll do a mental health test, they'll do whatever test that they would have. And like if you answer certain questions or in a certain way, like oh yeah, you probably have whatever issue, or you probably don't have certain issues. Millennials will do this test and be like, oh, BuzzFeed says I have this, but I'm good, I don't have it. Or like it's kind of funny because like they'll go as far as doing a test for like diagnosis, but they won't just go to therapy and get diagnosed and get, and talk about their problems to an actual professional. But, to each their own. But hey, like I said, that quality in itself is already toxic. And, like I guess it makes them, it makes millennials stronger, but, you never know. Now, Gen Z. Gen Z, Gen Z, Gen Z. This is the group. And when I say this, y'all know exactly what I mean. And y'all probably said it before I say it. They normalize everything, bro. Everything. Like everything. Like what's that? I think it was Cat Williams. Everything. That come on now. They normalize everything. Like, and no matter if it's good or bad, like it's normalized. And that in and itself is a toxic trait. It's almost kind of scary in a sense. It's kind of crazy, like in a good way on one part with certain things that's normalized, but some stuff is just flat out outright crazy that it's normalized. Like they normalize everything. Like They normalize not putting in 2-week notices to your job, like, which is not always crazy because jobs don't put in a 2-week notice for you. They normalize not putting in a 2-week notice. They normalize being lazy in certain aspects of the workplace or in certain aspects of their life. Like they normalize being lazy. Like they normalize cancel culture. Like they normalize OnlyFans. Like they normalize all this stuff. Like even some of the social media stuff, like they normalize, like you ever see like certain videos online, you're like, there is no way you did that. Like they go in Walmart pouring milk on themselves, or they go in whatever restaurant yelling, or they go in some establishment. I seen a video the other day, some guy was pretending to be the manager of Target, brought his own employees. The video, and I'm not gonna lie, because like I said, we keep it real here, it was actually kind of funny because it was so crazy. But he went in Target and he legit pretended to be a manager. He brought like 7 of his friends with him in Target gear. How did they even get all this Target gear in Target gear? And like, yeah, hey, I'm such and such manager from such and such place, but I'm here at Target, and you know, they said y'all needed help. So hey, you know, such and such, you guys go work the electronics, you guys go work the dairy, you guys go work clothing. And they dead ass went to Target like they worked there and stayed. Like, I'm like, that's insane. But like little things like that is insane to me. But like they normalize everything, man. And part of the stuff they normalize, and y'all can leave it down in the comment section if you know what I'm referring to. But like I can't use the buzzword on YouTube, but we gotta still keep it real. So I'm gonna blend it. They normalize stuff with how do I say this without being involved in cancel culture? They just normalize how we refer to certain things and certain people. I think I said that good. I said that correct, right? Like y'all know what I'm talking about. They normalize, you know, how you can refer to yourself, how you can refer to other people, and, you know, things of that nature. Like I said, I can't say any of the buzzwords, any of the topics, you know, because I would like to keep my YouTube past the first episode, you know. You know, maybe when we go live, we're going to go live and do some of these topics as well. Maybe when we go live, you know, I wouldn't, you know, you guys could kind of comment exactly what I'm talking about, but you know what I mean. Come on now, you know what I mean. But like, even stuff like that is kind of normalized. And I feel like that in itself is just bad self-awareness. And more importantly, it's just bad mental health. Like, your mental state has to be insane to do some of the things that Gen Z is doing. Like I said, it's some good stuff. Cause like some millennials, you would never be able to tell a millennial they could just pop on a Twitch stream and become a millionaire. And Gen Z, they'll stream every day with one viewer, knowing that tomorrow, you know, could be their breakthrough and they can become Kai Cenat or IShowSpeed or whoever else. So in that aspect, it's not always a bad thing to have that insane like delusion, so to speak. But yeah, like Gen Z gonna have to take it for me. Like that whole normalize everything, and you know, like I said, millennials, they don't go to therapy, and that in and itself, but I don't think that's as bad as normalizing everything. Like, I feel like Gen Z will go to therapy to confirm their delusion. Like, y'all get what I'm trying to say? Like, they will confirm their delusion through therapy. And I'm like, that's crazy. But yeah, Gen Z is going to have to take it. Like, what do y'all think down in the comment? Like, what are some other like mental aspects of Gen Z and millennials that y'all think, like, do y'all agree with me? Do y'all think Gen Z takes the pudding with the mental health and self-awareness? Who's more toxic in that? Because I think Gen Z is more toxic with that. Like I said, the cancel culture, the normalizing, the other topics that we talked about. Like, I feel like Gen Z takes the pudding on that. Like, I'm trying to think of other things millennial. Like I said, that's the biggest one is the therapy thing with millennials. Like I said, that whole push through and all that, like, that's really toxic for millennials. But like I said, I don't think that's as bad as just being okay with everything. You know, millennials would say we need to bring back shame, and I agree with that. Like, bring back shame. Like, why is this young lady pouring milk on herself in Walmart? Why is she walking around in Mall of America with painted on clothing? Why are you yelling in public on the train or dancing in public and nobody is blinking? So we definitely need to bring back shame according to the boomers, the millennials, and everybody else. But yeah, I think I'm gonna say Gen Z takes the pudding as far as like the mental health side of it and the self-awareness, because like they've taken it to an extreme level, and that extreme level is more unhealthier than millennials not going to therapy and anything in general. So Gen Z takes the pudding on this.